Good afternoon, kindergarten. How are you today? I am fine, but I miss you all terribly, and I really look forward to seeing you in August. So, today we are going to be talking about the ET word family, and these are words that end in ET. Because they're a word family and they all end in ET, what do we say about the words? We certainly say they rhyme or sound the same. So let's look at some ET words today. Jet, jet. Everybody knows what a jet is, right? Here's a jet. Well, I have to tell you that I actually had the opportunity to parachute out of a jet when I was a young woman. I got to jump out of a jet with a parachute and was that crazy fun. Then we have vet, vet. Anybody that has a pet knows you have to take your pet to the vet, right? Get, get, bet, vet. Vet, vet. Wet. Net, net. Let. Set. Like when your mom says, "Would you please set the table?" And finally, met. We met some new friends. Perhaps that's a word you might have used before. So these are some of our ET words. Can you think of any other words that are ET words? If you can, you might want to share with your mom or dad, sister, brother, somebody about some ET words. And I'm going to put these words right here up on my trusty whiteboard. All right. And today I have a story that I wrote myself with ET words. And the name of my story is Our Pet Chet. Chet is a man or boy's name. I had two uncles named Chet. And my one uncle Chet was one of my favorite uncles, and we used to go fishing on his boat. We would catch lots of fish, come home, clean them, and have fish fries in Michigan where I grew up. So I thought, in honor of my two uncles named Chet, I would name my pet Chet for the story. So, our pet Chet. We have a pet. His name is Chet. He got tangled in a net. What do you think he could have been doing getting tangled in a net? Maybe his owners were playing soccer and Chet ran after the soccer ball. Soon it rained and he got wet. Oh my goodness. We had to take him to the vet. Did he get better? You bet. You bet he got better. So I would like you to take a look at my story, and I would like you to write down all the words in the story that rhyme or sound the same. So we know if they end in ET, they are rhyming words or words that sound the same. We've done IG, we've done AT, we've done EN. So we're getting through these word families, and I hope you are having as much fun as I am. So I'm going to take my story up here and we're going to look at some questions that I wrote about our pet, Chet, the story. Now remember when I told you when you read a story, you can always find the answers to questions about the story inside the story. Okay, so like if you're reading about the three little bears, you could say, what was the name of the little girl that went to the three little bears' house? Well, you can go to the book. You or somebody in your house can read it, and you'll find out that Goldilocks was her name. And that is in the name of the story. So questions about a story can always be found inside the story. So here are some questions that go with our pet Chet. What number one is, what is the pet's name? What was his name? His name is Chet. You can go right into the story and you can write down his name is Chet. You could say Chet, but when you're answering a question, it's a great idea to answer it with a complete sentence because that is how, my friends, we become better writers, right? So, what is the pet's name? Where did Chet get tangled? Let's look up in our story right here. He got tangled in a net. Oh, poor Chet. What happened when it rained? Well, when it rained, soon it rained and he got wet. So, what happened when it rained? You don't have to say soon it rained and he got wet. You can look at the story and you could say he got wet because that's a complete sentence. All right? Where did they take Chet? Where did they take Chet? They took Chet to the vet. They took Chet to the vet. So these are some questions, and I would like you to take a piece of paper and a pencil, and I would like you to write the answers to the questions in a complete sentence. And then I would like you to talk with somebody at your house about maybe some other questions you could ask about this story. Okay, and maybe you could come up with a question or two, or better yet, maybe you can even write your own ET story with ET words. You know, like, I let my pet get wet. You know, there are lots of different things you could write with the ET words. We flew in a jet. How many of you have ever flown in a jet? I'll bet you a lot of you have flown in a jet. I want you to see my words. I bet you a lot of you have flown in a jet before. And maybe you took a trip. You could write about a trip you took in a jet. You could write about a visit to the vet with your pet. You could write about your pet. You could write a story about your pet. Unfortunately, I don't have a pet. When my girls were little, we had a big German Shepherd, but he got to be a little too big to take care of. And so we gave him to some people on a farm. Was he happy? You bet. When he met the people that owned the farm, he got really happy. So remember, when we are writing sentences, that number one, we begin each sentence with an uppercase letter, always. But what was that one word? No matter where it is in the sentence, it's always uppercase. Remember, we talked about that before? It's I. If you're talking about yourself, no matter where you use the word I is always uppercase. I am home. I am in my kitchen. I am happy. I'm happy because this weekend my husband and I are going to celebrate our 34th wedding anniversary. That means we've been married 34 years. That's a long time. So begin each sentence with an uppercase letter, finger space between words. Miss Fletcher taught you guys that right at the beginning when we started this. Remember, you can use a spoon for finger space. You can use your finger, a pencil. Be sure to use your finger space between words and then end each sentence with a period or a question mark. If you ask a question, it's a question mark, just like here. All right? So I want you all to have a great weekend. And I am really looking forward to when we are all back together because I miss you all very much. Have a nice day.